up for Ohio State.
You've waited all day for this.
Go with that team stealing away. He's going to take it to the house. 85 yards. Down the right side going Devin Smith. Got it at the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown.
The one show that's nothing but the Buckeyes.
Oh, Brad Rucker for the touchdown. Kraft shoots it high on the right for 3.
This is the Buckeye Show.
Off and rolling here on a Thursday. I am Brandon Beam. He is Patrick Murphy. We got our guy Nate Dogg back again behind the glass. Murph, happy Thursday to you and officially happy football season. What's happening, buddy? Good to talk to you.
Good, yeah. I'm trying this new standing thing while we do this.
Well, yeah, because you were inspired. Bo stands every day.
Yeah.
You won't know that if you watch it on the YouTube stream, but he has one of those elevated desks that he stands behind. So he's a stander. Carp sometimes stands, and I think you got inspired from a little Fan Sports Saturday where both Cole and Tim May were both standing.
Yeah, I just tuned in on the YouTube, and I was like, wait a second, those guys are taller than those chairs. And
I think I'm actually at eye level with you right now while I'm sitting.
I had to stand for 10 straight years at my old job. I'm perfectly fine sitting.
It's like, I'm done with that.
Yeah, I'm just giving it a test. We'll see if next segment I'm still standing.
Yeah, we'll see if you last 2 hours.
Right,
or not.
probably not.
We got a great show lined up for you here this evening. All kinds of good sound tonight. Get into some linebacker sound, Pat. I know you were over at the Woody yesterday talking to James and the linebacker. We'll soon do that coming up in our next segment around 6:17. Our guy, DeVier Posey, he's going to pop by coming up here at 6:30. Ross Bjork confirmed what we already knew, that Penn State was going to be a noon game, even though it's going to be a blackout. Get into that a little bit later in the 7 o'clock hour. Do some more linebacker sound. Arvell Reese, Peyton Pierce, and Sonny Styles. We got some good sound from, so we'll do that in the 7 o'clock hour. And then it wouldn't be a show here in Columbus, Ohio, on the Fan, in football season, during training camp, without us talking about the quarterbacks. So don't you worry about that. We'll do that.
Good, I was worried.
Coming up at 7:30. I don't know what more needs to be said about it, but we're going to try. We're going to listen to Julian Sand and Lincoln Keenholz talk all kinds of stuff. And from Ryan Day about an update on the quarterback competition.
Maybe we'll get a starter while we're, last time I was in here with you, we were discussing or I think it was 2 times ago, the injury to.
No, it was last week, because then they just opened camp last Thursday.
Yeah, I think it was Thursday, and during the show, we were like, well, if we get something on Edric, we'll let you know, but we probably won't. We did. So maybe we'll get quarterback news. Maybe
you think so? You think he's going to put out a press release?
Ryan Dale just tweet it.
Pete Thamel's going to come out with an update that Lincoln Keenholz is going to be the starting quarterback for Ohio State against Texas.
What if that's how Ryan did it? Just like a pre-recorded video where he just like slowly walks up and just goes.
He puts it on Twitter that way.
He goes, brick handler.
Yeah.
And just turns around and walks away.
Whoa!
Everyone's
brick handler.
Yeah.
We didn't even think you would be in the running for it. So we will do the obligatory quarterback talk coming up here at 7:30. By the way, just coming down from the NFL, we got live NFL preseason tonight. Bengals are on tonight as well. This is kind of a crazy story. This just came down literally 2 minutes ago. Chargers offensive tackle Rashawn Slater, who signed the 4-year, $113 million extension last month. Pat and I was actually looking at the contract, $96 million guaranteed in this contract. I guess in camp today was carted off the practice field.
Ouch.
And suffered a season-ending ruptured patella tendon. That stinks. Good for him for getting his contract, but that's some football news to kick off our show tonight. It's part of camp, man, and it stinks. It's by far the worst part of any training camp.
Well, we just mentioned the Edric Houston injury. That was a fear, right? Was that, oh no, is that his knee? Is that his Achilles? Is that, what did he do? How long is this going to be? And these things happen. I mean, it's a physical game. I mean, even in any sport, really, you have this, especially as guys get back out there for the first time and are really going through, the practice routines and stuff to ramp back up. You can do all you want in the offseason to prepare. Injuries, you just can't prepare for. And I mean, there's things you can do to prevent some things, right? But you just never know when it's coming, and that's inevitable for most people.
Yeah, it's the same thing that just happened with Texas late last week or earlier this week as well. One of their offensive tackles, Andre Kojo, is out for the year reportedly with an ACL injury. So, I mean, it's by far the worst part of any training camp. And I don't care if you're a fan of Ohio State or the Bobcats down in Athens or Texas or the Chargers or the Rams or whoever. It is by far the worst part of camp. So hopefully everybody stays healthy. Pat, what have you most noticed when you've been over at the Woody? You've been over there for about a week now. You guys were not allowed in the building today because it was the Big Ten car wash that they were doing.
Don't get me started.
What's been your biggest takeaway so far 1 week into camp for the Buckeyes?
Well, I thought about this earlier this week, just sort of reading things nationally, and we've talked about this, we're really close to the situation. People listening, I expect, are really close to what's going on with the Buckeyes. I know Ohio State was number 2 in the coaches poll. I expect them to be 2 or 3 in the AP poll that comes out next Monday.
Where are you with Austin's theory that the coaches don't trust James Franklin, so they put him at 3rd, and that the AP voters will put Penn State at number 1 because of the offseason storylines that they've been hyping up around them?
I don't know if they'll be number 1. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they are, but I think they'll definitely be number 2, if not, and Ohio State's probably number 3. But my point of all this is, despite being a top 3 team going into the season, I think people are sleeping on this team and just how talented this group is. Just because, again, outside of Columbus, outside of Buckeye Nation, outside of maybe Julian Say and Lincoln Kienholz, even though we saw ESPN put the wrong guy on the graphic a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
I think that most people don't know a lot of these guys that didn't contribute a ton last year. And there's a lot of them, right? And you're just ranking Ohio State where you are because they're the defending national champions. But I look out there and, like, we could go position by position, and it's just stud after stud after stud. You know, we could talk defensive tackle depth we have, but there's a lot of teams in the country that would trade for the Ohio State's backup defensive tackles that would start a lot of places, even if they haven't performed for Ohio State. And that's one of the things as I was out there at camp and you know, full disclosure, I was not there Saturday, which was their first full pads day. I was out of town for a pre-planned trip. But talking to people, talking to other guys that were there.
You've been in the building this week, though.
Yeah, and it just, I look at every position room, and I don't see a major weakness. You know, maybe if Edric Houston had been out for the year, it's like, well, that's going to be a problem. But then you look at the linebackers right behind those guys.
Yeah, I think you look at the linebackers, and you're like, God, that group is the deepest and the baddest in the country. And we'll save the linebacker talk for our next segment because there's a lot to that.
But even, like, the secondary, that's a crazy deep group. Yeah. Aaron Scott would start at most places this year as a second-year player.
Devin Sanchez would start at the majority of colleges around the country.
Right. You have, to play next to Caleb Downs, you have 2 highly recruited guys, young guys, that are hungry and ready to go, right? The offensive line, it's like Ryan Day drops I don't want to say bomb, but news the other day.
Oh, we had fun with that soundbite last night because we heard you interject in there. Ryan, are you misspeaking? You mean right tackle?
Yeah.
No, I mean left tackle.
Yeah, that was one of those, like, I was going into it with the intent of just like, hey, we're going to talk to Austin here later in camp. We're going to talk to the offensive line. Like, let's ask, you know, everyone's going to ask about quarterbacks and things. Let's ask about why Austin is a fit for tackle because he's been a guard for 2 years. And it turned out to generate more news. But even something like that, okay, we can just move this guy who is maybe the most versatile offensive lineman they've had in a while. And I say that.
Cross-training, right?
Yeah. But, like, he said he could start at left tackle for them. And that's a guy who's never started a game at tackle.
He might.
Yeah, very, very, very possible. So I look across this roster and I see a really good team. Are they going to repeat as national champions? There's a lot that goes into that, right? But even as a top 2 or 3 team, just you hear people talking about Texas and Penn State and even some of the other teams. I heard somebody the other day say probably, I think it was Joel Klatt talking about the top 9 teams in the coaches poll can probably all win the national championship. And that may be true. It's probably one of those years.
Clemson's getting a lot of hype this year coming in.
But, like, I just look at this Ohio State team and you talk to some of these guys who were contributors as backups last year, like Arvell Reese the other day, for instance, and he's talking about, you know, I want to win a national championship that I'm a guy on, not a backup, not a guy who plays.
And he was a guy. I mean, he contributed significantly last year.
But he wants to be the guy at that position. And so I think it's a very talented team, but coming off a national championship, they seem really hungry. And that to me has stood out in the first few days there. And not that I didn't know this going in, because we knew how talented that these guys are, but just kind of being closer to it, I think that has popped for me a little bit.
Yeah, I said what I was most looking forward to when we got into fall camp was the amount of spots that were up for competition. And take the quarterback competition aside, because that's its own different beast. And you got Billy Fessler in that room, and you've got Ryan Day, and you've got Brian Hartline, assessing the minutia of that position, and not only coming down to the X's and O's and arm angles and the way that they throw and their completion percentage and all that. Like Ryan Day addressed the other day, like how you command a huddle in the respect of your team, right? So, like, take that part of it. But the amount of competition for the amount of starting spots or the amount of players on this team that want to be key contributors. And it's the most open spots that we've seen on an Ohio State team, Pat, in a long time. And you've got, yes, guys who have been here before, but they've not had the opportunity to stand up as a starter and say, no, this is my spot. And so you get all these highly recruited guys into a room, guys who have been here 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, however long that they have been. And it's open competition. Like, there's going to be some competitive moments, and everything that I've been hearing and you've been hearing and watching and listening to leads me to believe that this is one damn good camp that they're embarking on.
Exactly. And I think the number of positions where they could play multiple guys, like safety next to Caleb Downs, I think there's a really good chance that you see both Malik Hartford and Jalen McClain play a good amount this year. Tight end, wide receiver, they could rotate more than they have.
Pat, they could actually play both, because Matt Patricia said, we could actually transition Caleb to the nickel.
Right. So, and look, linebacker, you have Peyton Pierce that could come in there, and, James, we'll get to it, but James Laurinaitis talking about, you have to bring it every day in this room. The cornerbacks, we just touched, and it's not because they don't have a starter. It's because both guys or three guys or four guys are really, really good. So I think that's just good news for Buckeye fans. And look, if I'm Ryan Day, if I'm this team, I want to fly under the radar. You had last year where everyone's talking about you, right? This is fine.
Like they are. They kind of are.
Yeah, and that was something.
Not here, they're not.
No.
But.
No. And that was something coming out of Big Ten Media Days was like, no one was really talking about him. The scrum around Ryan Day's podium was as small as I've ever seen it. And that could be that it was in Las Vegas and not as many people that usually cover Big Ten Media Days were out there. But, like, James Franklin's was big. Sharon Moore's was big. And not that Ryan Day's wasn't. People were there. But it's just, there's not the same interest, I think, because, like, what's the big storyline about Ryan Day? Is he going to beat Michigan this year? Well, he just won a national championship, right? And that's so far off. So I think they're fine. Let's just quietly go about our business. We got week one to prove what we can do. We don't need to be talking right now.
Ohio State's linebacker mission is simple this year. Be fast, be feared. You're going to hear from James Laurinaitis about his group next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
Now is a great time to schedule a back-to-school dental appointment. Dr. Hal Jeter, president of the Ohio Dental Association, is here to tell us more.
Your child's teeth and gums need the right food, nutrition, and vitamins to grow strong and stay healthy. Help them maintain good oral health by brushing every morning and night, flossing, visiting the dentist twice a year, and developing good eating habits. As kids head back to school, it's important to know that foods and drinks high in sugar, acidity, and other cavity-promoting substances are often low in nutritional value, and they have the potential to create plaque capable of damaging tooth enamel. A back-to-school dental appointment can diagnose any potential problems and improve your child's oral health. Ohio Dental Association member dentists are located throughout the state, are dedicated to providing the highest quality dental care, are bound by the highest ethical standards, and obtain superior ongoing education and training. Ask if your dentist is a member of the Ohio Dental Association so you know you are being treated by the best. To find an ODA dentist in your area, visit ODA.org.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
AgPro has been family owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Attention Columbus. Town Properties just clinched the title of the largest residential property manager in Columbus, thanks to the Columbus Business Journal. With pride, we oversee 25,000 plus households in the Columbus metro area, ensuring fantastic places to call home. Whether you're on the hunt for an exceptional living space, a top-notch association management company, or a property manager for your multifamily portfolio, visit our website at town.properties.com and let us elevate your living experience. Town Properties, always managing great places to live.
Do you feel that? The season is getting closer. Buckeye football comes your way in 23 days. Every game, every season. Proud to be your flagship home for Ohio State football. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance is prepared for what's next and protects what matters most to you. With independent insurance agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova Insurance is an easy win for your peace of mind. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you.
Experience Buckeye game day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Plenty of sunshine out there, but also the very slight chance of a shower, maybe a rumble of thunder. Temperatures holding in the mid-80s on this Thursday. Overnight, we'll lose the shower or storm. Temperatures dropping to the mid-60s by Friday morning. And after a dry start, a dry and sunny finish, and warmer with highs near 90 Friday afternoon. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
It's time for your daily dose of vitamin B. B stands for Buckeyes, just in case that wasn't clear. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Hanging out with my guy Pat Murphy tonight. Well, heads up, DeVier Posey. He's going to join the program coming up here at 6:30. I wonder what we're going to talk about with him.
The defensive line.
Yeah, we're going to go through all defensive line talk.
Yeah, he's an expert.
Yeah, he's well-rounded.
Yeah.
Well-rounded athlete.
We should really, because we were sitting there a few weeks ago at Yogi's watching Canadian football.
Which we are not there tonight.
We are not.
There's a scheduling mishap, so we are back in the friendly confines of the studio.
I apologize.
We still have Coors Lights in front of us.
We do. I apologize to all the people that I invited that either showed up and were not there.
You can still go there. It's a bar. They're open.
Yeah, it just, if you went there to see our beautiful faces, you're probably a little disappointed. Or it actually made it better.
Beautiful face. Let's not use the term "our" so leniently. Pat, I was listening to James Laurinaitis talking yesterday, and always get a good chance to listen to James, and having worked with him before here at this radio station, and just getting to know him and just kind of the super path that he is on. You think about this. I mean, he's only been a coach in college football for 4 seasons.
Right.
Isn't that hard to believe? I mean, spent the 1 year as a GA with Marcus over at Notre Dame, and then came over here as a GA, spent 1 year in the linebacker room where he was kind of de facto linebackers coach, and then last year, and now this year, it's only his 4th year. But here was what he had to say about Arvell Reese. And I don't know if there's any player with more hype. I mean, obviously, Jeremiah Smith has a lot of hype surrounding him.
Sure.
But a player who, you look as a breakout candidate. Mm-hmm. And I think we've moved well on from that with Arvell Reese. I think he kind of broke out last year with that picture-perfect hit against the wide receiver from Nebraska, the targeting, non-targeting, which kind of lit the shoe on fire, which I think helped Ohio State to a victory.
It did.
That day. But here's what James had to say about Arvell Reese's growth.
He's playing so fast right now. I think, when he was young, trying to teach him just the scheme and everything about college football, it was a lot. It was overwhelming. You had to kind of pare it down. And now it's like he has this ability to, not only his ability to diagnose, I think that's why I always fought for him to stay at linebacker. Because if you remember freshman year, we had some injuries with Amari Abor, and then all of a sudden Veli went to DN, and I kept pounding the table, just even as a GA, like, he can see it as a linebacker. He's got to play off the ball. He's too freakish not to, he can see the game well. And I'm like, if we keep putting him on the edge, then you lose that vision of seeing the game in the middle of the field. You see it all from like this way. And so I'm glad we got him back. And then I pounded the table for Sonny to move the linebacker. But I think his diagnosing ability has just sped up, and now he can come off the field and he knows exactly what he did wrong on a play or what he did right and how he could change it the next time. And I think that's just growth.
I want everybody to think about this here for a second, because they have a very deep linebacker room. But when you think that Sonny Styles has only been playing linebacker for 1 year,
yep,
and he is likely going to be a Block O winner. I don't want to put words in anybody's mouths over there at the Woody, but if there was a betting favorite on that, I think it would overwhelmingly be Sonny Styles. Now, to that point last year, I think you would have said that it would have been Jack Sawyer's to lose. But I still think, obviously, Sonny, with what he did last year and his accomplishment of coming up from safety into the linebacker position and having the season that he had, will obviously help that. Arvell Reese has been playing linebacker longer than Sonny Styles has, and now he's starting to come along. All right, he was coming along just fine last year. You saw some monster hits out of Arvell, how he wanted to rip your helmet off and put his helmet right through your sternum. Like, you've got two dudes out there, and I'm sure that they will get multiple, and hear from James in just a second about Peyton Pierce's development. But those two men at linebacker, and I say men and I don't say kids, because they're both, 6'4", 240 pounds, Pat? Like, they're large human beings. That is quite the accomplishment, we think, this year for James. Bringing Arvell Reese along in the season that we expect him to have, and then Sonny Styles being one of the best linebackers in the country in his first year of playing the position, that's some serious coaching that he's doing. And obviously he's got the player accolades to go along with it. But again, being only 4 years into the coaching foray and building that linebacker room into what it is now, and seeing these guys' evolution just in a season and then coming into another one is nothing short of magnificent of what he's doing in that room.
100%. I think what you saw last year with Sonny and even Cody to some degree.
He was fantastic.
Yeah, but, that doesn't just happen. Obviously Cody had been in the program and whatnot, but there was a reason Cody was a starter. Obviously, there were 3 linebackers on the field before Jim Knowles got there, but he lost a job. Now, he stayed with it. Credit to him. He kept working all that. But working with James Laurinaitis, you ask him about it, he will tell you. Sonny Styles was a safety. He was a nickel, right? Yeah. And obviously you put on the weight, you do the work and all that. But early in the season last year, I remember that Michigan State game, he made some plays just because he's big and he's Sonny. And
it was a little tepid.
Exactly. And you don't get to where he got 100 tackles and, now being on these preseason watch lists and stuff without a coach that knows what he's doing. And I think you're seeing that with Arvell. Again, another guy who, if you look at him a year ago playing versus what he'll look like out against Texas, not only a change in number, but he looks different. He said last year he was playing at 236, 237. He's 244 right now. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't sound like a ton.
And he grew 14 inches.
I think that might be a bit much.
Yeah. Not according to Austin.
That doesn't sound a ton. It's only, a handful of pounds right there. You and I can add that on just by eating wrong the last
I already have in the last 25 minutes.
But he's put on the right weight, and that's important. He looks different.
Pat, that picture where Riley Pettijohn is getting his black stripe removed, I'm just looking at Sonny and Arvell Reese. If I'm a running back, quarterback, receiver thinking about coming over the middle, that's the last place on the football field that I would want to be, being headhunted by these individuals.
Yeah, and that's what we're saying earlier. Obviously, you want your defensive tackles to be really good and help stop the run and all that stuff. But it does help when you have those guys behind you. And that's not to mention Peyton Pierce, who James Laurinaitis compared to a Tommy Eichenberg. He's a bit more vocal than Tommy.
Yeah, he is. You know what? I was looking at his cut numbers that Reimer cut up here today, and I'm like, that's way longer answers than what Tommy gave up. But to your point, here is how James views his linebacker room with those 3 guys, Sonny, Arvell, and Peyton, how they're all kind of on the same level.
I see those 3 as they're all just right here. Sonny, Arvell, and Peyton are all right here. So I think having those 3 to be able to throw in them at any given time to keep everybody fresh as the game goes on. And Coach Patricia has, given, he don't really care. It's you're in charge of the rotation and a lot of roles. So, and that could be fluid. I tell the guys all the time, when you're at Ohio State, man, your locker is rented. You don't own anything. like gets rented. These numbers are rented outside of like the GOATs who are players, Heisman's and Bill, like those numbers are all rented. There's always going to be a number 33. There's always going to be another, 20. Like, so same thing with like you can have go out in the field with Arvell and Sonny, and next thing you know, if like the week of practice doesn't show focus and dedication and improvement, then it could be Peyton and whoever. Like it's all fluid. Like that is not concrete. I said the depth chart's never concrete. It's always moving. So it's all about their play and practice.
That's just tells you a little bit of the high wire act. As much as we're talking about Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles and how everybody is expecting them to have massive seasons coming up here, that Peyton Pierce is right there. And if you have a bad week of practice or a bad game, like there is no issue with throwing Peyton Pierce into the ball game. And I'm sure that we'll see multiple sets from Matt Patricia this year that will have all three of those guys on the field at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to go play Wisconsin, who is sort of kind of getting back to some of what
I hope
made Wisconsin. At least that's what it looks like. So you could see it in that. And there will be times for sure. I mean, you think about those goal line packages, like we talked about what Caden McDonald did in there. We got 3 linebackers, sometimes 4 linebackers in there, depending on the situation. So the other thing I think with listening to James talk, for everything he's done as a player at Ohio State, as a player in the NFL, and now early
leading
on
tackler for the Rams.
Yeah, all-time leading tackler in the history of the Rams. He is so modest.
Yeah.
Like he's talking about teaching these guys about all-American linebackers just because a lot of these guys don't know, which is, I think is a great idea. He's like, I'm going to skip me. It's like, come on, man. Like, you're one of the best in the history of this program.
Man, I'm just a 3-star from Wayzata.
Yeah, and I think that's part of it. But I also think that if he went in there to that room, especially as a GA and a younger guy, and was just like, hey, look, this is what I did, this is what I did, you guys listen to me. I don't know if you get this. Maybe some guys respond to that, but I think more guys relate to what James is as like, yeah, if I need to show you something, I can still do it. And like, you can go find me.
I can still do it on the field right now.
Yeah,
you want to go? Let me put a helmet on.
We see him out at fall
camp. He's a little lighter than his playing days. His neck is a little thinner, but he can still get in the mixer.
100%. And so I just think that he, as that coach, like not only does he know what he's doing, but he knows how to relate to these guys, teach these guys. And that's so important. Every time I hear him talk and like not want to talk about himself, talk about his players, I think is great.
Yeah, I do too. We'll hear from a little bit more from him in the 7 o'clock hour and some linebackers as well. For now, our guy, DeVier Posey, he's going to pop by. We'll talk some fall camp with him coming up in 2 minutes. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Hi, I'm Rick Germain, and it's the Toyota National Sales Event all month long at Toyota West. With over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles available, Toyota West at I-270 and Georgesville Road has the car you're looking for. And right now at Toyota West, take advantage of no payments for 90 days, and every pre-owned vehicle comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty for qualified vehicles. Come see us at the Germain Auto Mall on Georgesville Road or get started today at ToyotaWest.com. No payments for 90 days, deferred payment, interest accrued at time of inception with approved credit, expires 8/31.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
The best outcomes for treating cancer come from early detection and early diagnosis.
The James Cancer Diagnostic Center at Ohio State
is designed to provide rapid evaluation and a clear diagnosis.
We are transforming care by giving patients direct access
to cancer experts who study and treat cancer every day.
If you think you have cancer, the choice is clear.
Choose the James Cancer Diagnostic Center.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The only radio show that bleeds scarlet and gray. This is the Buckeye Show.
Hey, coming up tomorrow at this time, we'll do Beers and Buckeyes with Pat Murphy, except Pat will be in here, so we're going to call somebody randomly. For now, though, we head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Check with our guy. He is DeVier Posey. Depot, what's happening? How you feeling? Camp's underway. Football's in the air. What's going on?
What's up, fellas? How you guys doing?
Doing great. I mean, camp started last week for Ohio State, so we've got a bevy of things to talk about. We got media availabilities. We were just talking about James Laurinaitis and the linebackers here in the last segment. DeVier, outside of the wide receivers, who I think obviously naturally you're inclined to say, which position group for you have you been most excited about with this camp going on and then the impending season that's coming up here for Ohio State?
No offense to Pat Murphy or our guy from 11 Warriors, but follow me down this path.
Okay.
I'm excited for the defensive line.
Ooh.
Here's why. With guys like 11 Warriors, Rivals.com, and 23 Subsports, they told us JTT and Jack were supposed to be these high productive and these 5-star recruits. Now, mind you, great teammates, was on great defenses. Those guys left for the national championship. But you guys might second this and third this. I don't know if the production was there over their tenure and career. Out of all of the 50-plus sacks, I think we got about 28 of them coming back. Now, those 30 were those were 5 guys that went in that left. So 5 guys had 30 sacks. The rest of the 20-plus sacks were from guys who had limited reps. So you mean to tell me almost half of the sacks were from guys who didn't have as many opportunities? If you give those same guys as many opportunities as those 5 stars had before them, I truly believe we're about to see a production increase with sacks, with pressures, with these guys just making a name for themselves because you don't know who they are. But we're going to be highly productive on the D-line. And the reason why, because we got some of the best DBs in the country. So we're going to be getting a lot of coverage sacks, right? So that's the group I'm excited for, guys.
DeVier, Patrick Murphy here. I don't know if we've ever met each other, but it's good to talk to you. Just stay on that topic. Who are the guys on the D-line that you are most excited about? You're breaking down those numbers there, which was a really good point. Which guys stand out to you the most as the guys that could really elevate with more opportunity?
Yeah, I just think the Kenyatta Jacksons and the CJ Hicks are the freaks on this line and the guys who will have mismatches. But the motor that Caden Curry has can't be underestimated, and I don't think we give it enough respect. I mean, he's not a big guy, but he is a chase down sack guy, and he is a second effort guy. And so I'm looking for those names to really stick out. And obviously, Edric Houston and what he did in the Penn State goal line stand for me was just as important as JTT's crazy stat game. Not for history purposes, but just player confidence. Hey, I was in on a historic event for this team, and I can build from that confidence. So those are the names I would circle for sure.
He is DeVier Posey with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. DeVier, I want to take you to the offensive side of the football. When you're in it, and you're not in a quarterback competition, but when your team is going through a quarterback competition, and we heard Ryan Day talk about the other day, and he was making a really good point. It's hey, when I was going through a quarterback competition, these are the things that I needed to make sure to do, is the X, Y, and Z. And then he kind of stopped himself, and he said, by the way, you also need to be able to lead the locker room. You need to be able to get in the huddle and make sure that everybody trusts you. Now, you're getting the football thrown to you. When you're going through one of these quarterback competitions as a wide receiver, or maybe just an offensive guy in general, is there a certain breaking point that in camp that, okay, well, this is going to be the guy moving forward, or to win you over? Because right now, everything we hear from Ryan Day and quarterbacks coach Billy Fessler is it's 50-50. We got to make sure that these guys are doing everything the right way. But I feel like the players generally probably know a little bit earlier than everyone. Am I wrong on that, Reed?
No, the guys know. The guys feel it I mean, like, you feel it when you're doing 2-minute drills, being like, who's moving the ball down the field. And I think the thing that Ryan is talking about is, hey, like, the intangibles with the quarterback position are definitely up for debate, right? These are definitely up to be reviewed and to be evaluated. I mean, you can have a perfect day of practice, but, like, if you're coming in the huddle, you're kind of quiet, somebody's asking you to repeat the play. Wide receiver breaks the huddle, and he's like, I didn't hear what he said. Yeah, that's on you as a cue. So I think, even though you might be grading out wide, but you could be a little meek, verbally, or you could be a little bit more humble in the locker room. I mean, it's, I think Ryan is kind of saying, I'm not looking for that. Like, I'm looking for the leader. I'm evaluating the leader aspect of this, intangible race too. And so I think, but also guys, like, out of all the coaches in the country, I mean, this dude has just been going through quarterback competitions just year in and year out, and, like, not having results to where, like, guys fall off the face of the earth and, like, they go to Toledo and never play. Like, no, like, he's having these competitions, and the guy who isn't the winner is, like, leaving and leading the nation, or, like, leaving and going to Texas. Like, right? Like, so he's developing quarterbacks, honestly, at a high rate, and there's been no head coach in Ohio State history that has had and prepared more draftable quarterbacks than Ryan Day. So I'm okay with what he's saying and like reading and listening to his interviews on, hey, this is what I'm looking for. And out of anybody who can pick the right guy, we got to trust Ryan Day, right?
Yeah, absolutely. He's proven that, I think, to your point.
I mean, Devin Brown is the starter at Cal this year, and everyone's like, Cal's going to be really good because they got an Ohio State transfer quarterback.
He's made it a draftable position when it hasn't been in the history. Like, and no disrespect to the Terrell Pryors, Troy Smiths, Art Fleet, but we went a better part of, like, a quarter century without a first-round quarterback, man. And so you gotta appreciate that. And the guys that we did miss out on, they're draftable quarterbacks too.
DeVier, let's go to your position at wide receiver. We all watched Jeremiah last year and everything he did. I'm sure you were able to break him down a little bit more than the rest of us, having played the position at the level you did. Ryan Day's talked about he's getting better. Jeremiah's talking about the need to improve. What do you see that can be better about a guy who just had the freshman season that he did?
I watch my words as much when I talk about Jeremiah, is because just personally as a wide receiver and I've been a football fan my whole life. Like, before I was a player, I loved the game. I mean, just there hasn't been many people outside of Adrian Peterson, Maurice Claret, that have, in the history of college football, cashed out year one like this dude has. Number one recruit. He'll show you every rep on film that means. Like he means that. Wins a natty, is up for the Biletnikoff. He's one of the best players, if not the best wide receiver in the country as a freshman. And when you say he needs to improve, I'm in awe of, like, what I see from him and, like, on a daily basis. But, like, as a wide receiver, I mean, you could do two things, right? You can coach this guy and be honest and say, hey, Jeremiah, your shoe's untied, bro. That's all I have to say to you. Like, I don't have any that. Or you can say, hey, there were times last year to where we weren't able to expose mismatches because I don't think you had the knowledge that Emeka Egbuka had. Okay, Jeremiah, so what does that mean? You're already a great player, but I do think there is a learning curve to where, in a world where you know every position, you're a leader like Emeka Egbuka, you can be displaced and moved around like Marvin Harrison. There is, like, that gap there, right? And being able to line him up at number 3 one play, and then you see him go in motion, and then he's single backside, right, on the next play. And we didn't see much of that last year. It was almost, we break the huddle, Jeremiah's lined up, and, he goes forward. Just understanding the offense and what everybody is doing around him is where I think you put that great generational player in and give him more opportunities to win. That's where he gets better. Just give him more opportunities to win.
Are you opining for him to play slot? Is that what I'm hearing, like Garrett Wilson did?
Well, it's not even slot. It's just like we have a terrible Mike linebacker that when we go 3 wide receivers,
go for him.
Yeah, like he's playing man. Okay, let's put Jeremiah right here. Like
we saw that in the national championship game, unfortunately, when Devontae Smith torched us.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Like that feeling of like, okay, like we're gonna expose Pete Warner and coverage. Like when we can start using Jeremiah like that, like, oh man, I just feel bad for the weak link on any defense because it's going to be bad.
Yes, it is. Buddy, always appreciate the time. Thanks for popping on with us. Before we get you out of here, what do you have your screen time down to per day?
Let's see.
Pull it up. Did it go down? Come on, it's got to have gone down.
Let's see. Oh, man.
Checking it live.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm checking it live. I don't even know how to find it. Can I?
Hey, just text me. Text me it. All right.
I'm gonna text you. I'll text you. Okay.
All right. We'll get a screen time update. Always appreciate it, DeVier. I'll talk to you soon. All right.
All right, guys.
There he goes. Our guy, DeVier Posey, here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Everybody, make sure to wear black for a noon game. That's coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on the Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877 for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877 for Kids.
1-877 for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Skyline is introducing a new chicken chili. Come get that world-famous Skyline flavor you love with the new protein option. Try the new Skyline chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. At Columbus Skyline locations only while supplies last.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Don't let bad feet stop you from being active and getting healthy this year. Trade in your bad feet for good feet at the Good Feet store.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. And no matter what tasty choice you make, our low prices add up to big savings. Plus, you get over $600 in digital coupons each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump and points. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
The future of recycling is now at Rumpke Waste and Recycling. The recycling leader has opened North America's largest, most technologically advanced recycling center right here in Central Ohio. This one-of-a-kind facility features interactive displays, educational opportunities, and the ability to process over 60 tons of recycled material per hour. Rumpke is committed to recycling and sustainability efforts. And for more than 90 years, Rumpke has worked to make sure the items you place in your recycling bin get used again. Visit Rumpke.com to learn how you can team with Rumpke to put less trash in our landfills and more of it to good use.
Experience Buckeye game day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
The Donato's $5 Pizza Pals menu is adding some pals. Donato's savory and delicious family recipe meatballs are now on the Pizza Pals menus, along with new Oreo twists. Sweet, delicious pull-apart twists with real Oreo cookie pieces drizzled with vanilla icing. You can order unlimited $5 Pizza Pals with any large pizza. So order today and load up on all the Pizza Pals you want. Donato's, gotta love more.
All your favorite fan shows are on YouTube, along with those fake YouTube ads like Chew This Gum and It Grows New Teeth. Experience the splendor of Bo sitting in his closet, Timmy Hall's Gouty gold chains, and Matty Ice wearing a coat in 90-degree weather. It's all there. Head to YouTube and subscribe today.
The season may be winding down, but there's still time to make the most of Buckeye Lake.
At Buckeye Lake Marina, we have year-end deals on boats, accessories, and more to get you ready for next year's adventures. The Buckeye Lake Marina staff is there to help you find the perfect boat at unbeatable prices. Buckeye Lake Marina has a long list of satisfied customers, and you want to be the next. Don't wait. Sail into savings at Buckeye Lake Marina before the year ends and find the boat that's just right for you. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com for more.
Hey friends, it's Austin Ward, and I'm coming up on 2 full years since starting Awaken 180. Dropped 50 pounds, and I still check the scale like it owes me money. Guess what? Hasn't budged. Still under 200 pounds, still feeling great. Keeping weight off this long isn't luck or magic, it's just having the right playbook. Awaken 180 taught me exactly what works, what doesn't, and how to stay lean without the struggle. Want real, lasting results? Don't just drop the weight, retire it for good. Trust me, Awaken 180 is your winning game plan. Awaken180weightloss.com.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Federal Elite Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
We're very close to Buckeye football. Very close. Uncomfortably close. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Big thanks to our guy, DeVier Posey, popping by last segment. A lot of really good points made out of him, and I think the best one that he made out of a line of good ones was about the defensive line production. He came with those stats.
Yeah. I'm not even going to check him. I assume he's right.
He said it with confidence.
Yep. I assume he had it. He knows what he's talking about. Let's not pretend like that's just some guy telling us that out of nowhere.
Yeah,
that's,
and then
that's DeVier Posey.
To his point as well about Jeremiah Smith, I was thinking about it when he was saying it, because JJ lined up wide, that's what he did, and that's what he was very good at. When he's like, motion him around, and if you see a weak spot on the defense, have Jeremiah attack a linebacker. That should be a great idea, and I'm sure that that's part of the evolution of a wide receiver. That's what he's talking about. We need to take a step back and realize, yes, he has all the physical abilities. He has all the traits of a workhorse in practice, and we know that he outworks everyone. And Brian Hartline talked about him becoming more of a leader, but also learning the game of football at this level and realizing what you need to do. And he's going to be triple teamed and bracketed all season long, Pat, but exploiting those matchups on a very few occasion that he gets them, that's going to yield great success for him this year.
Well, and DeVier brought up Marvin moving around his junior year, so there's clearly experience with that under Ryan Day. And then let's not forget the guy calling plays this year is Brian Hartline.
Yeah.
So he knows a thing or two about how to get receivers in the best matchups, and I assume he will handle that just fine. One thing I know we've touched on it a little bit throughout the offseason, but just what does this offense look like with Brian Hartline? It's still Ryan Day's offense, right? But
let's take a step back. What does this offense look like if it's Lincoln Kienholz playing quarterback, or if it's Julian Sayin playing quarterback?
Yeah, that changes
things.
I think
both are a little bit different.
But I had somebody ask me the other day, do you think because Brian Hartline and Ryan Day are sort of the guys, does that mean they go more pass heavy? And I was like, no, I think Brian Hartline, that's part of the reason they brought Tyler Bowen in, is because he's been an offensive coordinator who's more on the run side of things. Yep. But also I think Brian Hartline spent time watching, learning, studying things that he didn't know as a player or hasn't learned as a wide receivers coach in preparation of this. And I think he understands the importance of running the ball. And I'm not telling anybody stuff they don't know, but
run to open the pass.
Then
you pass to open the run.
Exactly. And you can find your best matchups, to your point, because you run the ball. And look, they've got really good running backs.
Yeah,
too.
They do, and a very good offensive line.
Yep. So I think they will be as balanced as they have been.
During an appearance on WOSU yesterday, Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjork was asked whether the blackout game against Penn State, because Ohio State, he had that big press conference, Pat, they talked about theme games. There's going to be a stadium stripe, scarlet out, and then there's going to be a blackout. And I saw a lot of fans on social media being like, all right, that Penn State game, that's going to be a night game. We all know that. And then I quickly saw you quote a tweet. I would bet all the money in my life that game is going to be a noon game. And here's what Ross had to say. The likelihood that Ohio State and Penn State will be a big noon game. He said, I think we know the Buckeyes drive big noon kickoff. Yes, we do, Mr. Bjork. That'll be a high-powered game, so I think we probably know what's going to happen around game time for that one. Fox loves the Buckeyes, and big noon is a big deal. They've invested in that time slot, so we'll presume that it's a 12 noon kickoff. I saw someone on Twitter post this, and this is really pretty jarring when you compare it side by side. I think Ohio State's been a pretty predominant program, Pat, in the last, 10 seasons or not. And I think Georgia's been up there, and you got Bama and all the big dogs, right? Ohio State's last 10 regular season top 10 games. All right? Last 10 regular season top 10 games. Number 5, Indiana. Last year, noon. Number 3, Penn State, noon. That was the game just last year. And we're going in reverse order on this. So most recent from latest. Number 3, at Oregon. That was a nighttime game because I doubt they could have put that game at noon because it would have been 9 a.m. Pacific time. I wouldn't put it past them to do that at some point, but it didn't happen last year. The Michigan game is always noon. That was an away game. Number 7, Penn State the year before that. That was a noon game. Notre Dame a couple of years ago. The Kyle McCord touchdown at the very end. Not the Kyle McCord touchdown, but where Notre Dame had 10 players on the field for that final defensive stand. That was a 7:30 game because why? That was Notre Dame's TV broadcast, so they got to do that at night. Number 3, Michigan. That year, noon. Number 5, Notre Dame. That was a home game that was actually on ESPN.
ABC.
Yeah, it was to open up the season. So that was a 7:30. Number 5, Michigan, noon. Number 7, Michigan State, noon. So your last 10 regular season top 10 games, by my count, 7 of them have been played at noon. This man also went on to say, for comparison, Georgia's last 10 regular season top 10 games. Number 7, Tennessee, 7:30. Number 1, Texas, 7:30. Number 4, Bama, 7:30. Number 6, Ole Miss, 7 o'clock. Number 1, Tennessee, 3:30. Number 8, Arkansas. They got a noon game in there. Number 3, Clemson, 7:30. Number 8, Florida in Jacksonville, the cocktail party, 3:30, which is traditionally where that's played. Same thing as the Michigan game. Number 2, Bama, 8 o'clock. Number 7, Auburn, 7:30. Out of the last 10 Georgia regular season games in top 10 opponents, Georgia has played 1 noon game. Ohio State has played 7.
Yep.
It's crazy, man. And you're getting Texas this year. We know that. You can lop that on the list as a top 10 showdown because they're number 1 and they're number 2 in the country. That Penn State game, likely barring some sort of craziness happening to both teams, will likely be a top 10 game, Pat. That will be a noon game, and we know the Michigan game, I don't know if that'll be a top 10 game or not. That's too far away at the end of the season to predict.
If Illinois is unbeaten, it'll be a noon game.
If Illinois is unbeaten, thank you, Nate. The battle for the Illabuck, that will be a noon start, 11 a.m. Central Time over in the Champagne Room. That will be a noon game. I mean, listen, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. You will not find a bigger noon college football fan than me because it is very selfish of me. I work post-game. Pat, you have to work deep into the night anyways. If the game starts at noon, you're out of Ohio Stadium by like 7 o'clock. You know, you can maybe catch the first half or the second half of like the 7 o'clock, 7:30 games. But at what point does Ohio State say, like, listen, man, we've had enough. We've done enough for you. We're getting paid the same amount of money that Maryland and Northwestern is. Like, we need some sort of kickback, a few extra $1 million if you are going to continue to play us at noon. And I don't know if that's a real thing. I don't know if those are in conversations, but it's just like these teams that are never on big noon and play games at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 3:30, whatever. It's just, it is tiring. It's got to be exhausting for them.
For sure. I mean, look, no one in the fandom wants, well, I won't say no one. There are definitely people out there that like noon games, but the majority of the fans want more of these big games to be in prime time.
And I'm totally cool with that. Penn State, and I know that they don't play after this year, which I think is a crime in itself. And we don't know the next time that they play. It just goes on the calendar and the cycle and the rotation. Like that game, whenever these two teams play each other, should be a night game. To open up the season against Texas, that should be a night game. The Michigan game should be a noon game. All right, let's not get that twisted. That should forever be a noon game. I'm cool with. But given the circumstances and the flexibility and the 6-day window and the 12-day window for media availabilities, just shift your product. Shift it to a night game and just see what happens, just for the love of them carrying the entirety of this TV deal.
Look, your guy, Kevin Warren, agreed to this TV deal, right? And no one at the time, I think, thought it would go this way, that one team would so heavily, I believe, I was trying to look it up. I know I've written it before. I believe Ohio State is more than 20 games on Big Noon. And I think the next closest is like 13, 14. That could be wrong. But it's the point is Ohio State has, as Ross Bjork put it, carried the weight of the Big Noon games. And it's not fair. Now, how do you solve this? I mean, it's really up to Fox. They're paying you all this money, right? And that's what Ross Bjork has said. And I know some people have issues with this. Trust me, I've talked to Ross about this. He would like more games. You saw what they did at Tennessee. Mm-hmm. He loved that. No doubt about it. They're trying.
Everyone loved that.
Yeah, but
it was awesome.
He comes from the SEC. I bet if you looked up Texas A&M's big games, I bet they're playing a bunch of them at night, right?
Kyle Field at night, right?
Yes.
The 12th man is a daunting place to go, except for Notre Dame last year.
Well, yes. So I just don't know. There's not a solution. Now, to your point, can you talk to Fox about having, and Ross has said this, he said this in June, what we need is more flexibility. Can that happen anytime soon? I don't know. And that's the problem is,
why don't
Fox,
you pay us $5 million every time we're on Big Noon?
And maybe they would do that. But the thing is, the contract's already signed. Yeah. So Fox doesn't have to do anything. Now, could you work with them to be like, look, there are some of these games. But then, where do you put the games? Okay, so CBS has the 3:30 window. That's better. NBC has the night, but it's only one night game per week. Mm-hmm. So the Big Ten's kind of limited itself with this. And, you don't want to be on Peacock, right, for some of these games.
Yeah, that's the OU game is the Peacock
The OU game is the one. But I'm just saying, like, you don't want to be throwing Ohio State, Penn State on Peacock. We've seen them do that. You and I watch European soccer.
Yeah, it's a mess.
They do that with all the big games just to get people to subscribe. They were doing it with preseason Manchester United games on Peacock.
Yeah.
That's besides the point. Point is, like, you're just stuck between a rock and a hard place here. You're getting a lot of money. This is a deal that's agreed upon. You're kind of stuck in it. Is Fox?
You're not kind of stuck in it.
You are definitely stuck in it. So is Fox willing to work with you going forward? If I'm Fox, like, trying to take an Ohio State opinion out of it, like, why would you change it? They bring in the money. You're putting them on. That's
what the money is for.
You could put Ohio State on against any opponent. Name the opponent. It doesn't matter. You put them on Big Noon, people are going to watch.
Scrambling.
Yes. That game would do ratings. And, like, good ratings.
Yeah.
I mean, probably not for the whole game because we assume it'll be a blowout, but, like...
It would outdraw any UCLA game.
Yes. And so, if you're trying to look at it from both sides, like, there's a reason Fox is doing this. And to be clear, Penn State has dealt with this too, right? Mm-hmm. Like, their fans were angry the last 2 times Ohio State's come there because it's been a noon game.
Yeah.
They can't do the whiteout. Or they could, but it's not nearly as cool. Now, they haven't done it as much. They get Oregon this year.
Yeah, they got actually the whiteout spectacle on Peacock, which I think was a great travesty for college football fans.
Yeah, and that's kind of the issue that you're in. So, unfortunate. We could talk about this for a whole show.
Yeah, we could. And we have before for a long period of time. One team in college football has the most bet overs and unders on season win totals. We'll tell you who that is coming up in the Pulse. Next, it's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
We test marketed naming the show A Guy and His Butlers.
Oh, that is very touching.
But we thought Bishop and Friends had a better ring to it.
Weekday mornings at 9.
The Fan.
The roof of your home protects what matters most in your life. Your family, your memories, your peace of mind. So when it comes time to replace the roof over your head, you need a name you can trust. Newman Roofing. Don't just take our word for it. Here's our friend Cindy on why she chose Newman Roofing over all the rest.
We had interviewed and talked with several other roofing companies around the city. The salesperson that came to speak with us was extremely knowledgeable, answered questions, took his time with us. We were happy to make Newman our choice.
And you'll have peace of mind knowing that on the day of the installation, we'll give you and your home the respect it deserves.
The guys arrived right on time. The crew leader came and talked with us, let us know what they were going to be doing. He was here all day with the crew. That itself was very impressive.
If you're thinking about your roofing or siding, give Newman Roofing a call today.
We were very happy with our experience, and we would highly recommend Newman to anybody we talk to.
Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof. Call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
Things are popping at Al's Delicious Popcorn. With over 80 flavors to choose from, we have something for everyone. From classics like caramel cashew, white cheddar, and our famous vanilla butternut to new flavors like chicken and waffles and spicy barbecue. They are all made fresh and they are all delicious. Visit us online at alspopcorn.com or come see us and experience the best service in town at 1500 Bethel Road in Columbus. Al's Delicious Popcorn.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
For over 30 years, Schumacher Homes has been building affordable custom homes throughout the Buckeye State. Experience true customization on your land, your way, without any compromises. Come visit any of our 9 Ohio model home and design studio locations to see the latest in design trends and learn about our award-winning building process, or start online at schumacherhomes.com. You'll be surprised how affordable a custom home will be. Schumacher Homes, proud home building sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Health insurance companies are expected to carry health benefits, but CareSource does so much more. We look beyond doctors' offices and hospitals to see the challenges that face our members. Then we help them achieve not just better health, but better lives. Along with great benefits, we also help our members find stable jobs, housing, childcare, and rides so they can find greater independence. At CareSource, we're removing barriers. We're improving lives. We're reimagining healthcare.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Nate Pooterball. Football is back tonight as preseason action kicks off in the NFL. The Cincinnati Bengals visit the defending Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles, tonight at 7:30. According to head coach Zach Taylor, expect Joe Burrow and the first team to see extended action tonight. And other preseason action, the Colts visit the Ravens, and the Raiders head out to Seattle to face the Seahawks. The Browns begin their preseason tomorrow at Carolina. And other NFL notes, the Chargers Pro Bowl left tackle Rashawn Slater was carted off today with a left leg injury, and former Buckeye Cam Hayward sat out of Steelers practice looking to redo his contract. In baseball, the Cincinnati Reds are in Pittsburgh tonight looking to get back on track as they take on the Pirates. Brady Singer is on the mound for the Reds, taking on Paul Skeens. Action just got underway. Catch it in progress at 8 o'clock immediately following the Buckeye Show. The Guardians are off tonight. They'll start a series with the White Sox tomorrow. Breaking sports news, what happens on the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
It's time for the College Football Pulse on the Buckeye Show.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Hour number 2 for us here, this lovely little Thursday. Hanging out tonight with my guy, Patrick Murphy. By the way, we'll get you to some Cincinnati Reds baseball coming up here top of the 8 o'clock hour. It's not going so great for the Reds over in Bucko Land in Pittsburgh. Singer's on the mound for the Reds. Skeens was in a little bit of a jam in the top of the first. He was able to get out of that. Reds currently trail 3-0, bottom of the first, 2 outs, runner still on second and third. So that's a little bit of a dicey situation. But the good news, and this isn't dealing with baseball, Pat, we got live football tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say big night in Cincinnati, and then I looked up and realized this is in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Because the Bengals are also playing.
Yes, they are. The Bengals are playing tonight.
I don't know if that's in Cincinnati either.
Also in the state of Pennsylvania.
Okay. As I said that, I was like, they may not be at home either. So big night for Cincinnati sports, just not in the city of Cincinnati.
Yeah, that's right. So we got the Bengals going tonight. We got the Browns going tomorrow. Shador starting over there. Do we know, is Joe Burrow playing at all tonight? I know that
they're supposed to play extensively.
Okay. All right. So I know that Zach Taylor was kind of waffling about that a little bit earlier in the week.
Well, he comes from the Sean McVay tree, and the Rams do not play starters at all in the starters or key contributors.
I think there's I can see both ways,
Yeah.
But for an organization like the Bengals, that every offseason there has been something. Since Joe Burrow entered the league, right? I mean, you have to think about the first year that he came in was COVID. Weird situation for everybody. Second year was the lacerated kidney, right? That was weird. That was strange. Was it the third year was the knee?
That sounds right.
The hyperextension of the knee. Fourth year was contract situation with him. Last year it was the Jamar Chase deal. Like when Jamar
wasn't there a finger in there somewhere too?
Where he hurt the finger missed the rest of the season because of that finger.
Yeah.
And so just coming back after not playing. Look, the Bengals have started slow these last few years.
Yes, they have, and it has killed them.
1-11 and it's under Zach Taylor.
And I'll tell you right now, the Rams the last 2 years have been really bad the first few weeks. Now they've recovered from it better than the Bengals have. At least last year they did. But I don't know. I get it. You don't want these guys to get hurt. Like, they're practicing. I could see arguments either ways. I've talked to college coaches about this, bring it back to the Buckeyes. And, like, they would kill to have some preseason games.
I think even just let alone a preseason game, I think if they had 3 camp dates against another live football team, now, like, they necessarily wouldn't need a game, but they would just love to hit somebody else here in the middle of camp.
Ryan Day's talked about, like, those practices can sometimes get a little intense.
Yeah,
and,
but everyone loves that. We got fights all over the place.
Right.
Got Vrabel punching people in the mouth last night.
But his concern with those joint practices is, like, there's a bigger chance of risk there than there is in a preseason game-like setting. Speaking of sports in Cincinnati, FC Cincinnati is playing at home tonight, but they're in a weather delay.
That's classic for them.
I just saw that.
So I'd be all in favor for that. Sorry, Coach Day.
No, I think it would be great to have something. I mean, I think, look, spring games, people are losing interest all over the country. Let them play another team in the spring for the spring game.
I liked Dion's idea.
What was his idea?
His idea was like, we're going to bring in Syracuse.
Oh,
this year.
yeah, exactly.
It's the same thing.
Okay, I mean,
you don't know how good you are.
No, and it doesn't have to be.
Clue.
It doesn't have to be like, your non-conference games type of situation, and it doesn't need to be a big-time opponent. You don't need to bring Georgia in for your spring game.
Yeah.
But I do think that would be way more interesting and give you a better perspective coming out of spring practice.
Just for Ohio State, for example, bring in all the Ohio MAC schools and just put them on a rotation. In Toledo and Akron and Miami and Bowling Green, OU.
Sure.
Like, bring them all in and do it that way. Nate, sorry we kind of took your segment from you tonight. What do you got for us?
All right, in the Scotty Vegas portion of the segment, our friends at BetMGM have let us know the most bet overs and unders on win totals heading into 2025. Your over top 3, Colorado, LSU, and the Buckeyes. Your unders, also Colorado, Michigan, and North Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, the number for Colorado, and without Shador and Travis Hunter, it's 5.5. All right, it's 5.5 for the Buffs. I can see why the over is tempting, and I can see also why the under would be tempting, and let alone, I mean, his health scare, Pat, which was a crazy situation that he was dealing with. He hadn't had his hands on the team right up until fall camp. The 8.5 over and the under for LSU is intriguing. It's just, I don't know what it is about Brian Kelly. I just don't trust him.
You said 8.5?
It was 8.5, and they're the second most bet on team according to BetMGM.
Even if they're the most bet over.
Yeah, the second most bet over team in the country.
Even if you don't trust Brian Kelly, like, just on paper, they should win 9 games.
Should they?
I mean, they may have the best quarterback in the country.
Says who?
I don't know. Garrett Nussmeier's pretty good, I think.
They opened the season with Clemson, so
you'll find
the
out
second best quarterback in the country according to experts.
Yeah. You'll find out pretty quick, but I think I could see why people are looking at that team. And
it's not a hard schedule, actually. I'm looking at it right now. Clemson's a pretty dicey game, I think. That's going to be great. Louisiana Tech visits them in week number 2. They're home against Florida, which who knows what's going on with DJ Lagway and the injury, and reading stuff about his calf. And
it's Florida. Who cares?
Yeah, right. Like, it's a big game, big year for Billy Napier. I know he exceeded expectations last year, and Lagway did flash. But if I'm a Florida fan and I'm hearing calf injury before the season, I'm like, that makes me a little bit nervous.
And they are freaking out.
Yes, they are, as they should be.
Yes.
Southeastern Louisiana, the powerhouse, visits them the 4th week of the season.
In-state powerhouse.
Yes, I do give them credit because they are playing Louisiana Tech and Southeastern Louisiana. At Ole Miss, which should be a great game. Grab your popcorn. I'm sure that Lane will have his guys fired up for that. Home against South Carolina. Last year was a very good game between those two. They had a massive comeback in that. At Vanderbilt, ask Alabama how that went for them last year. Home against A&M, they are at Bama. Home against Arkansas. The Hilltoppers of Western Kentucky are going to be lambs for slaughter the second to last week of the season. And then at Oklahoma, I kind of get it.
Yeah,
I
can
understand.
see 9 wins.
Clemson, I could see as a dicey game for them. I could see Bama as a dicey game for them. Ole Miss and South Carolina. Like, those are the 4. So I'm guessing that the odds makers have them say that that South Carolina game, Pat, is the one that they're looking at.
Yeah, I think that's probably the decider, whether you win that. And then, do you take care of business and all the other, right? Like, we've seen it before with, especially hyped SEC teams that just drop off
blew it
mid-season.
right out of the gates against USC last year.
I find the money coming in for Michigan to be under 8.5 way more interesting.
Yeah,
considering they're a top 15 team to start the season. And the bettors are going, no, you are not.
Yeah, no, you're not. Let's take a gander at their schedule. They open up against New Mexico. We know they got to go on the road to Oklahoma. Sharon Moore is going to be suspended for what? The New Mexico game, the Central Michigan game, and at Nebraska. I think Nebraska is going to be better than what people are anticipating this year. Home against Wisconsin, on the road against USC. I'm not a Lincoln Riley believer. You can yell at me if you think I'm wrong. Home against Washington, at Little Brother and Sparty over there. Home against Purdue, at Northwestern, at Maryland, and then home against Ohio State. As far as a Big Ten slate goes, that's about as manageable as it gets, which tells you a lot that the bettors are saying that it's going to be under, and they find 4 losses on that schedule.
Right.
But they do have a freshman quarterback, maybe. I know they got a quarterback competition going on, but when you're paying a kid whatever they're paying him and Bryce Underwood to perform, I would have to imagine come game number 1 against New Mexico that he will be the starter.
Yeah, I asked our Michigan guys about that, and they were not so sure.
Is it the same not so sure, like when you tell them, like Julian saying and Lincoln Kienholz is like a serious competition? They're like, yeah, okay.
No, I think that they view it very similarly. In fact, I brought this up as the Terrell Pryor year, where it's like, actually, we talked to Tony Girdman about this when he was on with us last week, right? That year where he goes out, you start the more veteran guy. 3 weeks in or whatever, say they lose that game at Oklahoma, which is a very real thing. Yeah. Oklahoma's not USC, which is where Terrell Pryor started to take over, but go into Norman. That won't be easy, at least. But if things aren't going well, like at some point, I think everyone expects him to take over if he's not the starter at the beginning of the season. But I think there is some questions about whether he's the guy from day one.
Just classic Buckeyes sitting there too. 10.5, hammer the over. Where's the 2 losses coming from? And then Bill Belichick being the 3rd most bet on team for the under for win total. I'm gonna spare you breaking down the entirety of North Carolina's football schedule. Sonny Styles, he's only been in the linebacker group for a season. How's he seeing the development of the younger guys in the room? You're going to hear from him and the rest of the linebackers coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
The only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The season may be winding down, but there's still time to make the most of Buckeye Lake. At Buckeye Lake Marina, we have year-end deals on boats, accessories, and more to get you ready for next year's adventures. The Buckeye Lake Marina staff is there to help you find the perfect boat at unbeatable prices. Buckeye Lake Marina has a long list of satisfied customers, and you want to be the next. Don't wait. Sail into savings at Buckeye Lake Marina before the year ends and find the boat that's just right for you. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com for more.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone, and I've got a public service announcement for your taste buds. The legendary Sanders Bumpy Cake is finally here in Ohio. Yes, that Sanders Chocolate Fudge Bumpy Cake. Rich devil's food cake topped with smooth buttercream bumps and smothered in thick chocolatey fudge. I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. It's the dessert you didn't know you needed until now. Perfect for your next barbecue, tailgate, or a family function. And if you've never had one of these, well, trust me, once you try it, you're going to be hooked. Grab your Sanders Bumpy Cake today at Kroger or Meijer and taste what the hype's all about.
Hey, Ohio State fan, are you ready for game day? Get hyped and get your crew going with the Buckeye Meal at BK. For $20, you'll get 1 juicy flame grill Whopper sandwich, 1 original chicken sandwich, 2 mouthwatering cheeseburgers, 3 crispy golden small fries, and 3 refreshing small drinks. Grab your $20 Buckeye Meal today and share the taste of victory. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. Tax extra. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith, Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University, Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag BuckeyesCare.
Come on over to Heartland and
Join our family.
Now, community banking is the lifeblood of the American financial system, building strong, lasting relationships. We're just better able to help guide you down life's road. Flexibility is paramount to success. Community banking is alive and well in the Heartland. I'm Scott McComb. Come on over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. All your favorite and least favorite fan shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just type in 971 The Fan to the search bar and hit that subscribe button. It's free.
We're the land of the free and the home of the sunburnt, freckled fat guy.
Do it now.
It's Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,500 off BX23S tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Visit BuckeyeKubotaDealers.com to find a dealer near you.
Experience Buckeye game day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
The showers possible on this Thursday. Otherwise, many of us will see plenty of sunshine, light winds, and a warm and dry finish to your Thursday, mid-80s. Overnight down to the mid-60s with a dry start to your Friday. Plenty of sunshine, light winds, and warmer by the afternoon with highs near 90 degrees. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
Someone out there probably thinks we spend too much time talking about the Buckeyes. Please tell someone that they're stupid. You're listening to the Buckeye Show.
We are the Buckeye Show, brought to you by our great friends over at Coors Light. When those mountains are blue, you know those suckers are as cold as the Rockies. We got football on, all right? We got the Colts. We got the Ravens. Got the Bengals coming up here at 7:30, Pat. We got live football.
I love it.
I do, too.
That's what I'm doing tonight.
Yeah, me too.
I'm gonna drink beer and watch football.
I'm a preseason snob. You and I actually talked about this.
Yeah. Hopefully I don't drink too much beer because we've got interviews tomorrow.
You do have interviews tomorrow. Who's tomorrow? Running backs?
Running backs.
Coach Laughlin and the RBs?
Yeah, excited.
It'll be excited to talk to him. I did see Ohio State put out a video, 2.5 minutes of Coach Locke mic'd up.
Oh, I missed this.
Oh, I watched it.
All right, I'll have to check that out.
He brings in a lot of pop.
Well, yeah, that's just him.
Yes, absolutely it is. So we were talking about the linebackers a little bit earlier in the 6 o'clock hour, and we were hearing from Coach James Laurinaitis on that front. Let's go to some LBs, shall we? We got Sonny, we have Arvell, and we have Peyton Pierce. And let's start with Sonny. Obviously, he is now a leader on this team, Pat. Not to say that he wasn't a leader last year, but he was filling out the position group, right? Comes down into the box from safety. Has grown a lot since last season, and last season was a very good season to be playing linebacker if you're Sonny Styles. Here is him kind of self-reflecting and what he has seen in himself since the end of last season and how he's grown.
I just feel like I'm reacting faster right now, playing faster. I think it's showing up on tape. You can see me flying around the field. So I think that just comes with more reps, more confidence. It's been a pretty good camp so far.
He's just breaking the surface of what he could potentially be.
Absolutely. And you've seen, like, if you've been out to camp, and I know you weren't able to watch a ton because you had a small child with you.
I did.
But
I also tried to, like, as soon as I was talking to you guys, he tried to run onto the field, like right where the offensive lineman was at. And who was it? Was it Dusty Baker and his child? Like during, I forget which game of the World Series, where you see someone like run and take the small child away from home plate where there's a collision about to be. That was me. And I'm like, all right, I've seen enough. Good to talk to you guys. We got to go behind the fence here.
And that's probably the smart way to do it. But
he just wanted to mix it up, man. I give him credit for that.
But Sonny, and the 2 days I was there, they were still doing the split field. So Sonny was often with, I think he was with Peyton Pierce. Maybe he was with Riley Pettijohn and Arvell Reese. Anyway, he wasn't with, I didn't see him and Arvell together. But you can see what he's talking about, the flying around. Like, he knows what he's doing. If you compare it to a year ago, when it's like, I know defensive football, but like, this is new, and I'm,
everything's a little faster.
Yeah, and just like foot placement and like those things that make a difference that they drill over and over and over again. He'd only done that for, the spring, really, and some summer workouts and things like that. So now he's a full year in. And you can see the difference. You could see the difference by the end of the last season, but even more so now. And that's a scary thought. He had 100 tackles last year.
Yes, he did. And he cracked the helmet in the Tennessee game.
Yeah.
Which Nico got cracked twice, one by Sonny and one by Cody Simon.
Yes.
I do think it's interesting, too, because when we got to hear from Sonny last year in training camp, it was all about him and, his development into this position and how it was new for him. And what comes with growth and leadership also comes with talking about your teammates. So here was him talking about the development of Arvell Reese.
I would say mentally, just understanding the game. He's always had the physical attributes, but him being able to understand the game and play fast and use those physical attributes. I think sometimes we don't understand the game, it can kind of hold you back, and you're not able to show like your true potential. So he's been having a great camp as well.
It literally echoed the same exact thing that James said in a little bit of a longer cut in the 6 o'clock hour. Same thing,
right.
Shorter, really to the point.
Yeah, and that's Sonny. And that's, look, I mean, you could even kind of apply that to how he's going to play this year. Is like last year, especially early on, maybe it wasn't quite to the point in terms of the way you're reading, reacting things. And now he knows. And I think Arvell, while he has played the position longer, there's going to be some of that early on in the season, I think. But you will see him improve. And we've already seen him improve. And we talked about his physical changes already. But these are... You throw Peyton Pierce in there, and it's just a nasty group of linebackers.
Absolutely, it is. Here was Sonny talking about his guy Peyton Pierce.
Peyton's awesome. I think our linebacker room, we got a lot of great players. Peyton's one of them. He's smart. He's reliable. He's a great football player. So he's probably one of the better tacklers on our team. He just has a great understanding of the defense for him to be so young. I think his knowledge of the game is like that of like someone who's a senior or junior that's been playing for 2, 3, 4 years. So he's going to help us a lot this year.
Isn't it fascinating, Pat, the development tracks for these different guys? I mean, we're talking about Sonny and Arvell. I know that Sonny was on Bruce Feldman's Freaks list. Arvell should have been on there.
Yes, and Sonny said that.
Yes.
He said we have multiple guys that could have been on.
Yeah, and I know that Austin was alluding to the fact maybe Mickey Marotti doesn't love giving out numbers behind everything in their workouts in the winter and the spring and in the summer and leading into fall camp. And
also, you're going to spread that out. Like, if you're writing that list nationally, you're going to spread it out.
Yeah,
you don't want everybody to be from one school.
Yeah, naturally. And they could be. I mean, you could have like 20 to 25 guys on that list of the top 100.
You take the like traditional top, Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, pick your fourth team, Texas, if you want. You could that could be your 100 right there, those guys.
Yeah, because they're different.
Yes.
But we were talking about, Arvell and Sonny being these athletic freaks who have to learn the position. Not to say that Peyton Pierce is not. Peyton Pierce is more your prototypical linebacker, Pat. Comes in, good at tackling, good at assessing offense, has that leadership characteristic, but is also now learning the opposite part, which Sonny and Arvell possessed, in that, okay, I need to learn a little bit more. I just need to react. I have the instincts, but I just need to learn like kind of the P's and Q's of everything that I'm doing on this defense.
Right. It stood out to me in the spring when we talked to James that he brought up Peyton Pierce. Like, without being asked, that's a guy he brought up. And from that moment on, it's like, let me keep an eye on this guy. Like, clearly there's something that he sees there. And you've heard more and more about him in the spring and then now in fall camp. So clearly, look, I think more often than not, there's going to be 2 linebackers on the field. That's probably going to be Sonny and Arvell. But it's pretty good to have a situation where if you needed to go to 3, if you need to bring a guy in.
If you wanted to go to 3.
Yeah. And we saw it last year early on with Arvell, right? When he played for Cody. So I think there will certainly be situations where either he rotates in for somebody or they have the 3 linebackers on the field. And you'd much rather have that than us having been talking all offseason about like, well, what happens if something happens to one of those 2 guys? Like, you've got a group of freshmen or, whatever the case may be. And the experience, that's one thing that he's going to have to get. You only get that by getting it, right? But the same was true with Arvell a year ago, and he proved to be pretty good as that number 3 linebacker.
Here was Arvell Reese about learning from Sonny Styles. That cut doesn't exist.
Oh.
It is gone. Let's try it again. It doesn't exist.
Okay, well.
It's not there. I'm guessing he said it's been good. I'm just going to... you were there. What did Arvell Reese say about learning from Sonny Styles, Pat?
I'm going to pull this up. I can probably... If you want to play the next one, I will have the quote. I will read the quote to you in just a second.
All right. How about the quote that you said a little bit earlier on winning a championship, but now he wants his responsibility to be increased? That doesn't work either.
Oh, okay.
No
well.
Arvell Reese sound anymore. It's all gone from dad.
Here it is. He said, I learned a lot from Sonny. It's more so off the field with how he prepared for games. This is not a good Arvell Reese impersonation, by the way. How he prepared for practice, how intentional he is in meetings. Sonny is a great person. That was the quote.
Okay.
Arvell, you're talking about quick and to the point.
He's more on the line of talking as a Tommy Eichenberg is.
Yes, he still talks more than Tommy.
Yeah.
Because that's not hard to do. You just have to speak instead of grunt. But
Here is one, hopefully, from James.
Would you like to hear from Arvell Reese? I think I've got it.
Yeah,
right.
Nate, is yours working? Let's check this
I learned a lot
out.
from Sonny, and it's more so just like off the field with like how he prepare for games, how he prepare for practice, how intentional he is in meetings. So yeah, Sonny is like a great person.
Okay.
See, I thought I did a pretty good job.
You did. You did do a nice job. Yeah, he comes from more of the line of talking as Tommy Eichenberg. Maybe less grunts than Tommy in the way that they talked in that linebacker room, but very good. Here's one from James. And if it's not playing, Nate, it's 45607 on what it's been like working with Matt Patricia so far this offseason.
He's so smart. And the blessing that I had was that when I worked for Al Golden at Notre Dame, Al worked with Matt at Detroit. So some of what Al did was what Matt does, and you mix that in with what Jim did, and now there's so much that we did well last year. And so anything that has been new or added, like some of the terms, like, oh, I've spoken that language before, but I've known Matt since he worked me out when he was with the Patriots. Must have been a bad workout because he didn't draft me. But I think he's just so smart, and the way he sees the game, and he's really helped our players as they get lined up and they identify what's the offense telling you when they line up. Like, don't just go out there. Like, they're telling you a story every single play, and a lot of times they motion and shift the window dress, the same formations and the same routes and the same runs. But one tight end's tight, the other one's deep and tucked in. Oh, hey, alert, pull, power. Like, call those things out. And I think he's helped with, like, the football intelligence with some of the young guys on our team kind of play the game within the game.
Thank God that Matt Patricia didn't draft him, because he would not be the Rams' all-time leading tackler that way. I was going to bring that up to him, but it was like in the middle of the press conference, so I decided.
I also like how James, because he very much dumbed it down for everybody out there. You could hear the football exo talk in there that was trying to escape.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And he's like, all right, trap down pole. Everyone in the room's like, I don't know what that means.
That was one of the most interesting things when we first, not to go to Jim Knowles, but when he first sat down with us, it was like,
Football
he's talking
talk.
football.
Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't care if you know or not.
No, you have to decipher the code.
Yes. Yes. One quote from Arvell, I don't know if you have it there, but somebody asked, what kind of difference maker do you think you could be? And he said, I think I'm a huge difference maker. That's it.
Yeah. You know what, Arvell? I agree with you.
And there was a follow-up about why do you think that? And he said, I feel like I'm always around the ball. I'm sideline to sideline. I think I can do a lot of stuff on the field too, a lot of different things. But I just liked it. Like, I'm a difference maker.
Yeah.
I definitely am a difference maker.
Care to expand on that? No.
Nope.
Not really.
You'll see.
No, you're going to find out here in 24 days.
Sure.
I think that's the number. The Ohio State quarterback battle. It's good for the entire building. You're going to hear from Ryan Day and the quarterbacks here in 2 minutes. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Discover uncompromising quality at a reliable price with Giant Eagle in Market District. Look for signs throughout the store highlighting lower prices. Surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle. Experience value like never before. Visit Giant Eagle today to see how easy it is to save.
Got one of those days that never stops? Try a stop at Speedway and refresh the vibe with 69-cent large Big Gulp drinks. Get 69-cent large Big Gulp drinks at Speedway with Speedy Rewards. The convenience stores of Speedway. Valid through 8/26/25. See app for full terms.
I have a buddy who's going to be popping the question soon. He's planning everything out. He asked me, can you help me out with the ring? I said, of course I can. I've got a guy, Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. Now you talk, Bob.
Hi, I'm Bob Capace. I'm your guy.
Go in, see my friends at Worthington Jewelers, tell them I sent you, and you'll get the true VIP experience.
I'll treat them better than I treat you.
That's not hard. Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com, where Columbus gets engaged. And tell them Common Man sent you.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a Buckeye, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce. And jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource. Proud to be your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
We here at The Fan believe there's no such thing as too much Ohio State coverage. You're locked into The Buckeye Show.
Got football on the TV. Got Murph hanging out with me tonight. By the way, don't do your fantasy drafts ever before the weekend following Labor Day and the perennial curtain raiser to the NFL season. I don't know how big of a deal this was. Pat and I were in the middle of a conversation, but we do have double barrel football action on. The Bengals are getting ready to play in Philadelphia. So we'll see what that looks like. And then on the other screen, we've got the Ravens and the Colts. And now while we're in the middle of this conversation, Pat, apparently quarterback Anthony Richardson took a massive sack.
He got popped.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
What did it look like? Was it bad?
He was down for a minute.
Yeah. The broadcast said it was a right arm now issue that he is dealing with. So, yeah, these things happen. It's dicey. And to what we were talking about with preseason football, right? There's a positive and
that's a big hit.
There's a positive and there's a negative. Now you're going to make me pull it up.
It's just an unblocked defensive end. He's not even.
It's not what you want.
He doesn't even see it coming.
No.
It's not what you want. Now I've got the video number 90 for the Ravens. Yeah, absolutely smoked him. Form tackle, picture perfect. Not his blind side, but helmet right to the chest, goes down, and then Anthony Richardson just stays down in pain. So now you get Daniel Jones, your guy.
I don't know about that.
You're not a big Danny Dimes guy?
I'm just not sure. I had Anthony Richardson a couple years ago in fantasy football, his rookie year.
Mm-hmm. Good. It was a good year until he got hurt.
It was. That was only like week 5, though. So I had to figure something out after that. I don't know what to make of this guy. Here's going back. You can't
tap yourself out of a game.
His last year.
You can't do it.
No, you should not be able to do that. That should just not be allowed.
Well, I mean, you can do it.
No, you shouldn't be able to. Hey, Marissa.
I was just going to say, there's your friend for the Bengals.
I've completely lost. Oh, Anthony Richardson. His last year at Florida, I watched Florida's first game. I got home from whatever Ohio State's first game of the season was, turned on the Florida game, was watching him, and I was like, I think that guy's going to win the Heisman Trophy. And then I realized that he can't throw the ball, and that is a bit more difficult.
And that's what the Colts invested.
Anthony Richardson was my starting quarterback in my fantasy team last year.
Oh.
I did not have a good year in fantasy football last year.
No, it doesn't probably sound like it. So if you're wondering what Anthony Richardson's third year is going to be, someone go for the trifecta in fantasy football.
Yep,
and I guess I'm the only remaining option that can do
it.
I don't know about your guys' draft strategy, but it's either like get a top 5 quarterback somewhat decently early, or I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for a guy at the very tail end of the drafts. That's what I'm doing. That's my strategy. It usually doesn't pay off for me very well, but that's what we're doing. So while we're on the topic of quarterbacks, why don't we hear from some quarterbacks and hear from Ryan Day? Now we heard from a lot of Ryan Day here this week, and I'll just give you a general overarching theme from him. Pat, and this also deals with the quarterbacks, but I think it can be applied to basically every single position group. And we talked about it a little bit earlier on. There's a lot of spots up for grabs during this camp, and whether it's starter roles or whether it's great backup roles or spot time roles. Like there's a lot of opportunities for competition across the board here. And he was just talking about that and echoing those sentiments, how it's time for some of these young guys to step up because the opportunities are there.
I think it's important for everybody in the entire program to understand that there's a certain, when you get into the second week of preseason camp, you're getting closer and closer to this first game. And guys have to understand that, if they've been to starter level, take a guy like Caleb Downs or Sonny Styles. I mean, they've played football before. They know what it looks like. They know what it's like to be a starter. For guys who are stepping into this role for the first time, that's a new responsibility. And so they have to be able to understand that it takes a lot of work and training to get yourself ready to take on the majority of the plays, but not only take on the majority of the plays, but perform. And so everybody's got an opportunity to do that, to be thrust into that role in bigger roles than they had previously. And so when someone goes down in practice, it forces you to really step up in a lot of different ways. So, to your point, when someone goes down in camp, other guys have to step up. And then, you got to take a hard look in the mirror to figure out, okay, like, what do I need to do to be at starter level here? Because if you get to be at starter level, we'll play you, whether it's in the rotation at defensive line or another position. But you have to earn those opportunities. And so the more opportunities these guys have to step in those roles, they got to take advantage of them.
I believe the quote is earned, not given. And there's a lot of earned opportunities that's going to be out there for them this year.
Absolutely. And I think that's one thing that, if you didn't play football, you didn't play sports in general, really, like there's a level of, okay, I'm the guy who comes in for X amount of plays a game. Or if you're, a bench basketball player, whatever it is, like if you have a smaller role.
And then role player.
Yes. And then next year, that role increases significantly. Now you're a starter. There's a physical difference there. Like, okay, now I'm going to take all these hits, whether I'm on off or give these hits, but also a mental thing of like, I have to be engaged every play now. I'm on the, it's not like, hey, so-and-so go in, okay, I just need to pay attention here for 2 plays, then I come back out, right? So it's just, things you don't always think about that coaches are always thinking about, right?
Always. That's what keeps them up at night.
Exactly. And that's what Coach Day's talking about there. And, it was, I think that question, if I remember correctly, was somewhat in reference to the Edric injury and guys stepping up on the defensive line. We'll see, when Edric is back on the field. Could be back this week, it sounds like, but what that does for other guys. We saw it last year with the offensive linemen with the injuries or the illness and stuff like that. Can this be a benefit? Even if it is just 4 or 5 practices, whatever. Like, does this help Tywan Malone, those guys?
Will Smith.
Were they ready to do exactly what Ryan Day was talking about in that quote?
All right, let's get to it. It's the quarterbacks. We are 24 days away from the game opener against Texas. Of course, we're going to do some conversation about the quarterbacks. Ryan Day saying the quarterback battle is healthy for the entire organization.
I think there's positives and negatives to everything. I think you can look at it that way. There's positives, I guess, to having an incumbent, but the positives of having a competition is that, every day you got to bring it. And every day, you got to put your best guys out there to figure out who's making progress and who isn't. And guys are always on edge. They're uncomfortable. They're working at it, and I think that's healthy for the entire building.
It's the most scrutinized position, Pat, here in Columbus and probably around the country. Starting quarterback at The Ohio State University. And someone's got to win it, right? Yeah, I mean, you do hope, and I'm sure that he's hoping, and he did basically tell you that in his, I think it was right as the season, or as preseason camp was underway, that someone has to go out and win this job. But talking from, leadership responsibility and how you're going to be the guy, someone has to step up and do it. Let's hear from Julian saying how he's staying ready when he knows that everything about him is being judged.
It's all about improving every day, and we're trying to make it so every rep is game-like, and even in 7-on-7 and routes on air, we're practicing like we're in the game and visualizing ourselves in the game. So I think it's really important. Coach Day has been on us about that.
And again, we have no idea what's being graded in that room, Pat, but
we do. It's everything.
Yeah,
literally everything.
Yeah, it is everything, and it's not just the on-field performance stuff. It's not the completion percentage. It's not QBR. It's not high-risk throws. Like, all of that is. But it's also about the demeanor and the ability to go out and lead your team when neither of those guys have been there before and earning the trust of your teammates.
Well, and just how you step into the huddle. DeVier was talking about that, right? Like how aggressive you speak, how loud you speak, like all of those things, especially, I don't know in high school how much huddling those guys were doing. Not a lot of high schools, colleges even do that anymore, but Ohio State does.
Back in my day.
Yeah, right. So that's important, right? And that's something I've tried to pay attention to is like when they do get in a huddle, what does it look like? And we're not close enough to really see or get a sense of that.
Right.
But that's certainly something the coaches are looking at. And, that shows up on film, but also as you're out there on the field as coaches, stand right by the huddle. Let's hear how Lincoln does it. Okay, let's hear how Julian does it. Let's hear how Tavian does it, because that's something he can be learning right now.
It's a massive year for him.
Yeah, exactly. And he was talking about that too, is just like, look, my goal is development. Like that's what I'm striving for.
It's a great goal to have
this year. Yeah. And he knows, in all likelihood, now we've seen it before at Ohio State, the third string quarterback isn't going to have to play a ton. And that's good for him. He talked about at Bell Fountain, he had to make all the plays. He had good teammates, but it wasn't the level at Ohio State. So now he has to A, learn that he doesn't need to do that, and B, the speed, the thought process, all that stuff. But the command of the huddle is so important, and especially with the way that they want to play during the regular season, where they're going to slow things down a little bit like we saw last year. And that's one of the things Ryan Day talked about with Will Howard, was just how good he was at those type of things.
I think when you just heard Will talk, you could kind of just figure it out. But that was also a guy who had played a lot of college. Yes, a lot of college football before and had been around the block. Very different than the quarterback room here this year. One more from Julian, how he's building trust with his teammates.
I think earning trust is just all about consistency. Who are you day in and day out, and are you making the routine plays routinely, and are you someone who the offense can count on and who your teammates can count on consistently?
There it is, making the routine plays routinely. Check that one off your bingo cards. That is a Ryan Day classic. That was a Billy Fessler classic, although he said when he was doing it the other day, trying to make the routine plays, and then he's kind of stopped himself. Like, should I tote the corporate line? Trying to make the routine plays, and then he paused and said, consistently. Yeah. What about Lincoln Kienholz? Our only experience with Lincoln Kienholz really was the 3 quarters in the Cotton Bowl, and that's it. Like, that's all we've gotten to see. We've gotten to hear from him plenty of times, but here is what his thoughts are, his difference between that game and where he's at now.
I feel way different. As a freshman going in there, I didn't really know a whole lot. I think the biggest thing was probably protection for me. I didn't really know really how that worked, and now that's something that I feel like I'm pretty good at, and I can go out and execute that well. And I've been in the offense for 3 years now, so it's something that I think just more time, more reps, and film study, it's helped me get better.
I want to kind of piggyback off of that. From this offseason, how does he feel like he's grown as a quarterback?
Probably first and foremost, get my body weight right, get to a spot where I can go out there and play, and then get stronger, get faster. That's something that I've been working towards this offseason with Coach Mick in the weight room, and that's something that I've been looking into a lot. And then also, football-wise, just film study. That's something that we also did off-season as quarterbacks, just come in and watch film together and just get better.
It's a never-ending process for those guys. It's really not.
No, and especially this time of year, like until there is a starter, like we were saying, everything is being looked at
under a microscope.
Graded. Yeah. I imagine that somebody on the coaching staff went back and watched these interviews and just like
1,000% they did.
How are you? And that's an area where you're just talking about Will Howard and being a 5th-year guy and just talking to him. Like, these guys can improve in that area just from an interview. They just haven't done it that much. Right? Like Julian
saying, always watching and listening, Pat.
Yeah. Julian saying that. Julian saying, obviously interviewed in high school as a top prospect. I'm sure Lincoln Kienholz was as well. But like, that's different than sitting in front of 30, 40 media members at Ohio State
in the country.
Exactly. So you've got to be conditioned for that. Even Will Howard admitted his first couple interviews, he's like, where are all these people?
Who are you people?
Why do you have so many people covering this team?
Why do you care about this much?
Yeah, well, he learned.
Yes, he did. The Buckeye men's hoops team has a Valentine's Day date with an ACC team. We'll do that in #Buckeyes next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
At Baths R Us, we believe home improvement is life improvement, and that starts with a team who brings your vision to life. Our installers aren't just skilled, they're experts.
This is who we are. This is what we do all day, every day.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsrus.com. 380-225-2284. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
Soy has been keeping secrets, and it's ready to share. Soybeans are among the most versatile agricultural products. They are used in creative ways you may have never realized to make products we all love and use every day. Ohio is leading the way, developing new uses for soybeans to support our changing world. Soy low-key slays, and I'm here for it. Learn more about soybeans at soysecrets.org. This ad brought to you by Ohio soybean farmers and their checkoff.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Attention Columbus. Town Properties just clinched the title of the largest residential property manager in Columbus, thanks to the Columbus Business Journal. With pride, we oversee 25,000 plus households in the Columbus metro area, ensuring fantastic places to call home. Whether you're on the hunt for an exceptional living space, a top-notch association management company, or a property manager for your multifamily portfolio, visit our website at town.properties.com and let us elevate your living experience. Town Properties, always managing great places to live.
Rothman and Ice.
When you're paying a guy this amount of money, you either feel like you're right there and he's going to put you over the top, or you've got the runway to get it done.
Rothman and Ice. Weekdays at noon.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus.
The Fan.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use, now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
It's your final splash of the season at Zumbizi Bay. Ride the new conservation tower one last time and splash in for just $19.99 after 4 p.m. Get your tickets at ZumbiziBay.com.
Zumbizi Bay. At United Dairy Farmers, peach is our most popular ice cream. And once you taste it, you'll know why. Now's the time to grab a UDF peach shake, malt, cone, or sundae. They're only here for a limited time. UDF peach ice cream, made for you.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Social media can be a cesspool. Allow us to navigate the waters. #Buckeyes.
Sponsored by the Waterworks. Call the plumbing, heating, and cooling technicians at the Waterworks and header today. Call 614-232-2222. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Get you down to Pittsburgh. It's technically over from here, but I like the way that they say that word. Reds baseball coming up next. Got dual barrel action for NFL preseason going on. Told you that Anthony Richardson exited the game. Looked like a right finger injury for him. Don't know exactly the prognosis. See our guy Albert Breer tweeting about it. And then, Pat, in the Ravens game, Bilal Kone down with a leg injury. Cart's out. Aircast is out. It's kind of bad. And then subsequently, right after Anthony Richardson went off the field, Daniel Jones also got blasted.
He did get blasted. Not nearly as bad, but still just nobody blocked.
He got smoked.
Yeah. Well, you were saying this Colts offensive line, it's preseason, but
I
doesn't look what you want to see.
I don't want to overreact to anything, but also I have to believe what my eyes tell me. And if you're throwing out your franchise quarterback and Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones, I would have to assume, again, I don't know. I'm not a Colts insider. I can't tell you their starting offensive line. I'd have to assume that if your guys are out there who are going to be starting games for you in the regular season, that you're also going to have your starting offensive line out there. But the Ravens are just kind of throttling them on offense right now. By the way, Bengals scored, went right down the field. Joe Burrow, 6 for 7, 71 yards, 1 touchdown. Just throw the ball to Jamar Chase. Nate, I know you're over there watching this like, yep. It's going to be pretty nice.
You keep changing his channels. He can't watch it.
I know I do keep changing your channel, so I do apologize about that. But, all kinds of good stuff going on here. Again, get you to the Reds action coming up in Pittsburgh at the top of the hour. By the way, Pat, I was reading this by Patrick Murphy from Bucknuts. Ooh. I could have read this also off of my Outlook email, which I got from Gary Pettit, the...
You mean you got the same email I did?
Sports information director over at Ohio State for the basketball program.
Love Gary.
I'll just read your article instead. Reports from the summer of Ohio State playing a non-conference game during the Big Ten season have been confirmed. The Buckeyes announced today that they're going to face Virginia in a neutral site game on Valentine's Day of next year. They're going to play the Cavs, Virginia Cavs, in Nashville at the Bridgestone Arena, home of the Nashville Predators. So we got that to look forward to, which is nice, which is going to be very weird to break the Big Ten season to go play in a neutral site non-conference game.
It is, and we'd heard, there were reports of this, and Gary had said, nothing's confirmed yet when those came out, but we are looking at something there. So... Yeah, I'd been thinking about this for a while. That will be odd, but they're not the only ones. There's a handful of teams this year that are doing not necessarily that same exact time. I think Georgia may be playing somebody outside of the SEC during the non-conference. I think maybe some teams did it last year too with some of those. I remember flipping on a Duke game and
it's
being
just a little strange.
Yeah, but in these NIL, got to make as much money as you can. Mm-hmm. I think you'll take those down in Nashville, which is cool.
You'll get to go to that one.
I don't know if I will. It'll be coming. It'll probably send Hellwagon, if we're being honest. if we send
watch
anything.
out, Nashville.
It will probably depend on how they're doing, if we're being honest. But I think that's
doing
cool.
Great at that point.
That Bridgestone Arena, which is where the Predators play, right there on Broadway. So if you're gonna, if you're gonna go down there, you live in Nashville. I think that'd be a lot of fun if you're a Buckeye fan.
I've only been to Nashville once. I remember it's a cool town. I'm not a big country guy though, so every bar we would go into is live country music. I'm all right, it's cool. That's your thing.
Yeah.
I'm not here to tell you shouldn't like country music. I'm it wasn't my thing. We saw Iron and Wine at the Ryman, which if you're going to go somewhere to see a concert, go to the Ryman, it's pretty awesome. But yeah, it was a cool town. Mm-hmm. And then Meredith Classic did her bachelorette party there, which is all it is now. But
was it the NFL draft weekend?
No, it wasn't the NFL draft weekend, which I remember everybody being very upset. They stole my day from us at our weekend. Right. It's well, I don't think the NFL really cares. The NFL doesn't care about your feelings at all. But yeah, that'd be a good little road trip to go on there. Go to Nashville, see the Bucks play Virginia.
It's easy. My fiance Sarah has one of her good friends lives down there, so we try and go down every now and then to see them. I like Nashville. I think if you know where you're going, you can find non-country.
I had fantastic meals in Nashville and also fantastic places.
Oh yeah, food is awesome
to drink down there. But we had to get away from. Was it Broadway?
Yeah, Broadway is.
Had to get away from there.
It's their big street, but yes, there's plenty to do outside of that. That's just
cool
that's just the high street.
Short North kind of.
Yes, name your big road in some of these cities. So yeah, that'll be fun. I think, look, we'll have a pretty good idea of what the Buckeyes look like at that point. You'll be into the Big Ten season. You'll be out of January. So hopefully there will be no January swoon. But
hope is not a strategy, Patrick.
That's true. Jake Diebler will not be hoping. He will be planning.
Yes.
But I think you're done with football. Everyone's kind of tuned into basketball at that point. So you'll get to see him play some Big Ten teams, and then
the week after the Super Bowl, right? Is that usually the first week in February?
Yeah, right about there. So yeah, it's it'll be fun for them to do that. They've got some other ones. They got the CBS Sports Classic, which they do every year.
Not against UCLA anymore because they're a conference opponent.
Yeah, so you're just going to rotate
between
against
North Carolina and
Kentucky and North Carolina.
I'm guessing this year will be North Carolina because Kentucky was last year.
Right, that would make sense. There has been talk about changing that up.
I'd be game for it.
I believe these teams all signed up again for a certain amount of years, but yeah, do they change up? Hey, we got our first tush push of the year.
Oh boy.
And I think it was a touchdown.
Was it a touchdown? The Eagles players are symbolizing that it's a touchdown. I don't know how you stop that play. I love it. I hated how the NFL was like, we should ban the tush push. Why? Stop it. Learn how to stop it. It's a football play.
Absolutely. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's a quarterback sneak with two dudes pushing Jalen Hurts.
Not Jalen Hurts.
Well, I'm saying I don't know who's playing for
Tanner McKee, I believe.
I never heard of that.
Dorian Thompson-Robinson is their third-string quarterback. You know who their fourth-string quarterback is?
Kenny Pickett.
Kyle McCord.
Oh, that's right. I did remember that somewhere.
I don't think that's Kyle that did it. I think that's McKee.
I don't think that was Kyle.
But yes, anyway, back to basketball. I think that'll be fun. I think they're going to be much better this year. We've talked about it a little bit, and we'll talk about it more as we get closer. But I think this is a much better constructed roster for what they want to do. And I am optimistic that this year will end the NCAA tournament drought.
Pat, we got about 1 minute left before we get out of here. Our fan poll at 971thefan.com or on X at 971thefan. How much of tonight's NFL preseason action, Colts at Ravens, Bengals at Eagles, Raiders at Seahawks, I don't know what game that time kicks off, but
10 o'clock.
I might be watching that one still. Will you be watching? A ton of it, a decent amount, little to none. You and I have already gone over this before. I love a preseason game.
Yep.
Like if there's live football on, I'm watching.
Yep.
I'm watching it.
Yeah, I will watch preseason pretty much anything. Basketball, I'm getting up at 7:45 on Saturday morning before I come in here to watch preseason EPL soccer.
Yeah, how'd that Bronny James and Cooper Flag matchup turn out?
Yeah, it was all right.
You were so excited for that.
Yeah, of course.
I'm like, Pat, it's a first game of the preseason.
We've got David De Gea coming back to Old Trafford on Saturday morning.
We do, which I know you're excited about.
I am excited. But yeah, I'll watch pretty much. You put a sport on television, I will tune in.
Pat, had a great time tonight. Let's do it again tomorrow, shall we, on a big Friday?
We shall.
Everybody have an awesome night. Reds baseball is up on the Fan.
If the sound of another man slammed against plexiglass turns you on, you've come to the right place. Proud to be your home for Jackets hockey. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Newman Roofing, as part of their 2025 Commitment to Community initiative, is proud to sponsor The Fan and 10 TV's Beat the Heat fan drive, benefiting Life Care Alliance. You can help Ohio's most vulnerable residents deal with the extreme heat this summer. How can you help? Purchase new box fans and bring them to the nearest Franklin County Fire Station, or you can buy online and ship fans directly to Life Care Alliance. The collection and distribution of fans is to assist residents who are at risk of heat stroke or heat exhaustion. For more information, go to lifecarealliance.org.
Parents, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Go for it.
We're listening.
Yeah. Are your teens good with money?
She's a good kid.
She's the
but
best.
Yeah.
But I get it. Switch to Huntington Bank, and your teen debit card can really help.
Oh?
You can set spending limits, and your kid can track budgets, so they learn that money doesn't, in fact, grow on trees.
I think we need this.
Sounds good, yeah. We feel you, parents. Let's get more from teen banking. Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
A team that studies the unique makeup of your disease to develop a personalized treatment plan.
You're choosing our region's only comprehensive cancer center designated by the National Cancer Institute.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a Buckeye, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce. And jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
Experience Buckeye game day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.